going on, dudes and dudettes? So Juju Watkins, the star of the women's basketball team, did sign a pretty big deal with Fanatics. I believe she's the first women's college player to ever do it. But apparently it's an historic multi-year NIL deal, and yeah, they're going to have a bunch of different cards with her and her signatures. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to see out there in the flesh, to see what they kind of look like, and if they have her signature on it or part of her jersey, then they're probably worth more. But yeah, I was kind of surprised she's the first collegiate one. I thought maybe Caitlin Clark in her last year of Iowa would have done that, but apparently not, and USC's Juju Watkins did that first. So, of course, other their future recruits in high school, if you want a big old NIL deal, then you better come to USC basketball. And then they did show off some of their basketball kicks, a lot of the player exclusives. They look really cool. I think they're going to be using those for the tournaments, and then they released some that are going to be releasing at sometime in March. So I think they called them like the Hyper Dunk, something like that. But of course, they're mixed with a bunch of USC colors, so of course they look really awesome to me. I'm pretty sure those Hyper Dunks are expensive. The PEs are obviously player exclusive, so obviously I'm not getting any of those. But either way, it'll be pretty cool to see how much they're going to be whenever they come out officially. And then the men's basketball side, apparently they're going to be playing in what is now called a college basketball crown tournament. It's going to be happening in Vegas, and they're going to be playing April 1st against Tulane. And it seemed like a pretty small tournament where they only invited, I want to say 16 teams total. And this isn't even the NIT, which is like a step down from March Madness. So they really technically didn't get involved in there too, which sucked, but they did not have that great of a season this year. And then I think they also are doing like a mid-majors one, which is like a lot of the Ivy League schools and maybe some Division II schools or something like that. But either way, it's surprising how much more basketball there is going to be other than the tournament. That's already enough basketball if you could try to watch every single game. But either way, looking forward to seeing what USC can do with their last opportunities this season. And then ex-USC football defensive lineman Jay Tufele signed with the New York Jets, so congrats to him. And then the New York Saints ended up signing an ex-USC receiver, Velus Jones Jr., but they are going to be playing him at running back, because I think if you watch Hard Knocks, when it was the early part of the season when it was with Chicago, they kind of switched him from receiver to running back, and then they still let him go, but I think he went to go play somewhere else. I forget where he ended up playing after some point during the season, but now looks like he signed a deal with the Saints, so congrats to him. And I'm going to try to get through a bunch of recruiting right now. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been adding all this stuff, and you've been seeing me put up shorts of like a little bit more important stuff when it was like the Big Ten tournaments of both my teams and everything like that. But now I'm going to try to get through all of the recruiting. I'm just going to go through the way it came out and not try to put like top priority or whatever like that. But to start this off, yes, an elite cornerback in Davon Benjamin apparently visited USC that day. He ranks 18th nationally at the number 2 cornerback in the 2026 On3 ranking, so that was a big time visit there. There was a commitment date announcement on July 16th that's going to be happening for Nick Abrams, a 2026 4-star linebacker. He has both USC and Duke in his final 10 list, so yeah, hopefully he ends up choosing one of my schools. A 4-star edge and Drake Quinn has set up a June 13th official visit to USC. An elite 2027, now actually 2026, he reclassified to next year's class. The local guy from Sierra Canyon in LA, Richard Wesley, looks like he's getting a lot of attention from USC, and hopefully we'll be visiting soon. And then IMG Academy wide receiver Osanai Gales is visiting USC. I believe that was March 7th. So pretty recently. He's a 4-star receiver out there from Florida. And then USC is really pursuing a 4-star modern-day linebacker in Sean Scott. I guess they were kind of looking at some other guys at that linebacker position, but they're going to stick local and go for some of the more talented guys from a very talented school in modern day in Orange County. So that's going to be pretty exciting if they could get him. A 4-star offensive lineman from modern day, and Cody Green. He is right now a Oregon commit, but he did set up an official visit to USC June 20th. And then one of the top 4-star cornerbacks, Havon Finney, another guy who reclassified to 2026, set up a June 17th official visit to USC. 4-star cornerback Jordan Thomas locked in 6 spring visits and USC looked like it's one of them. So congrats to him. I think this other player too. Yeah, he was doing an April 26th spring visit, and then he has an official visit June 6th to the 8th. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. And then the 4-star linebacker is now bumped up to a 5-star ranking in Xavier Griffin, who is the number 1 linebacker in the country, and he's like a top 10 in next year's class too, still committed to USC, so that was awesome. And then Bu Gendreau set up a USC visit June 6th officially to the 8th. Another official visit has been set up by 4-star cornerback Albert Hill, one of those top guys out there. He set up a June 6th USC visit. The top 7 came out for a 4-star wide receiver Keon Chapman, and USC made that list. Number 1 tight end Mark Bowman, another guy for Mater Dei, says they are building a great class, and it's definitely important to go into a school with great players around you. And I believe he was recently predicted to go, at least in those recruiting prediction machines, favored USC. So I know he hasn't taken his official visit from what I know. I know he was recently on campus, but that'd be great if they could get his commitment before his official visit too. There's a pretty talented guy from the state of Texas, I believe. His name is Dylan Behrman. He's one of the top 250 according to Rivals, and he has USC in his final 3. Julian Cromartie, who is a wide receiver in the class. He is obviously the son of former NFL Pro Bowler cornerback Antonio Cromartie, ex-Chargers player. He set up an April 3rd spring visit to USC. 4-star edge Kamari Brooks set up a June 20th official visit. 5-star cornerback Brandon Arrington and top 10 players set up a June 17th USC visit. 3-star, well, who looks like a quarterback, and DJ Mitchell has a USC visit. Coming up soon, 4-star athlete Juju Johnson has an April 26th spring visit. 4-star running back Javion Osborne has an April 22nd. It just says recruiting visit, so I don't know if that's official or not. And then when it comes to the most blue chip commitments, who are 4- and 5-star players, USC has now bumped up to the top spot with 9 guys. And I think that's like, I think they have like maybe 14 guys. So only 5 of them aren't 4-stars, and those guys can eventually become 4-stars too. So yeah, a lot of names, a lot of official visits, another spring visit here that I had to read out, but that's basically what's been growing that type of list since like the past couple of weeks or so. So hopefully end up getting a handful of these guys, because they did say they're trying to sign the biggest class, so they think they could take in a bunch of guys, like maybe up to 30. So they're going to try to get the most talented guys, and especially a lot of the very talented local guys too in the state of California, which is great. So we'll see how it ends up turning out. So thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. If I don't.